Hello, everyone. I'm Ofer Forer, and I'm here to showcase very briefly how to use effectively the investors database, which I showcased earlier this week. Let me start over by showing my screen. So, as I mentioned, I was able to locate over 500 investors from different types, different geographies, with different kind of tickets and investment focus, which specifically mentioned either in the website or in other organizations, in other databases that they are interested or open to invest in Israel. So for us, this is a great opportunity to read more about them, understand what they're doing, and explore if we can connect to them, build a relationship, and eventually connect them to Israeli companies. So this is the Excel spreadsheet. You have to excuse me; it doesn't have a lot of flair. But it's kind of basic, but it does the job. So we have from left to right the investor's name, location, and obviously we can filter in if they are based in Germany or Switzerland or Italy, etc. The type of investors, if they're corporate VC, family offices, private equity, etc. The global HQ. And when it comes to global HQ, I just want to mention that sometimes we have investors who have offices in different locations around the world. So there might be an investor with offices in the US, in Germany, in Japan. I would advise that if you're based in one of these geographies, you do touch base and explore if maybe the person who is in charge of Israel or has the Israeli portfolio is based in your geography. And if not, at least you know that they are less relevant to events that you're doing in your location. We have the website, and then we have the investment information, which is more information about the strategy of the investor themselves. So we have the countries of investment. This gives us an overview about the geographies which the investor is open to invest in. As you can see in this specific example, one of them is Israel, so that's why they're on the list. We have the stage of investments. We know if they are focusing maybe on early stage investment like seed or pre-seed, maybe mid-stage, A, B, or growth. Uh, Obviously, when we have a delegation, we want to connect them to Israeli companies. This is an indication if they're relevant or not. I would not advise to spam investors in our lists with the companies which might be irrelevant for them on the investment stages. So it's very important to understand that and to use that. This is the most important thing, the focus areas. The focus areas, when I used it, I was heavily dependent on Gen AI. So, although the data is based upon integration of different types of databases like the investor's website, CB Insight, PitchBook, and other databases which are more investment oriented, you have to take it with a pinch of salt that maybe it's not 100% accurate. And the best way to know is just to contact the investors, to build a relationship, have a conversation, a coffee or a luncheon, and understand what they're really into. And obviously, you can update it later on. As you can see, when it comes to general investors like family offices and VCs, the list is quite general. I mean, healthcare is a huge area, as we all know. But if we have a corporate VC, for example, you can see that like in this case, it's much more accurate because corporate VCs, they know exactly what kind of investments they want to do, what kind of engagements they want to have. And this clearly gives us more information about a relevant connection. We have the first check and minimum and maximum, just understanding the kind of investment that the investor is open to do. And we also have, in some cases, contact names. Like if I'm scrolling down, like this person from Airbus Ventures. When I use the contact names, I use the Israel Export Institute data department. I provided them a list of the investors here. I will obviously be able to provide more information and fill in the list later on. And they gave me contacts from their databases, which are paid databases. Now, I do want to clarify that maybe in this case of this gentleman from Airbus is the managing partner of the VC, so definitely he is a relevant position. We might have some positions like a chief financial officer or a junior analyst, which might not be the go-to people when we want to build a relationship. What I'd like to suggest is if you can see the email structure of the company and you find the right person based on LinkedIn, for example, maybe you can reverse engineer. Sometimes it's first name dot last name at name of the company.com. In this case, as you can see, it's the first letter of the first name, or maybe it's a full name, first name only, and then Airbus Ventures VC, etc. When we want to contact the person directly, we can always send a cold email. Relatively speaking, when it comes to investors, that there is much more openness among investors to accept cold emails because in the end of the day, part of what they do is to build their deal flow, which is the database of potential companies they want to invest in. So that's why they're quite open to meet new people and meet new founders, etc. However, what I would like to suggest, if you find someone who's relevant, just run them over LinkedIn, like what I'm doing right now. So I am stopping sharing this one. I'm going to LinkedIn and I'll share with you my LinkedIn page. Give me a second. Voila. And I am running this gentleman from Airbus Ventures, and this is the guy. And I can see I've got 3 mutual connections. So if I click them, I see 3 of them are my connection and his connection. One of them is Ofer Schreiber, who is a senior partner at YL Ventures, which is one of the leading cyber VCs in Israel. So this is the indication for me that maybe Ofer is in good relationship with Thomas from Airbus, and maybe I can contact the Ofer by email, or maybe send him a text message. I want to be connected to Thomas from Airbus, and he can run the intro. In many cases, such a warm introduction is much more receptive to reply to my emails than a cold email. So this is just food for thought. I would like to go back to the Excel spreadsheet. Here we are. And we have, as I mentioned, information about the contact details. And then we have information about Israeli investment. This is quite important because if we are engaging with an investor who invests already in Israel, the kind of discussion and the kind of narrative that I can share during the conversation is different than someone who never invested in Israel before. In the case of Airbus, I can see that they had 2 investments, two investments which were around A, B, last investment in 2018. So that showcased that we have 6 years that they haven't invested in Israel. So it'd be an interesting conversation topic to understand why they stopped investing in Israel. Maybe they just lost connection to the market, and you could be the bridge to the Israeli market. And another interesting thing here is that they are 100% solo investment, which means that they have the appetite and the boldness to invest by themselves directly without any partnership of Israeli or non-Israeli investors, which means that they are definitely an interesting organization to work with. And I just want to mention that in every Israeli investment, there is a hyperlink to the Startup Nation page. And let me just open the Startup Nation page so you'll be able to see it. Give me a second. Here we are. And that gives us more information about the investment that they already made in Israel. So we can see that they are presumed inactive. And as we know, following the session we had with SNC, it doesn't mean that Airbus Venture ceased operation. It just means that they haven't invested actively in Israel for the past 2 years. We can see they have 2 investments in round A, round B. In the same company, in this case, they're doing ADAS solutions. And we can see they are 100% first investor. So that gives us some information about the company. Let me go back to the Excel spreadsheets. Here we are. And we have comments. Sometimes I added specific information about a specific investor. And again, when you want to see the information, just go all through the list. Now, let me showcase a few case studies, okay? How you can use this list effectively, because in the end of the day, the idea of this target list is to help you. So let's say you are based in France and you have an ERM by an Israeli company in the field of autonomous driving or autonomous solution for cars, and they want to approach you that maybe you will be able to help them find investor, and they want a strategic investor like a corporate VC. And let's say they're doing round A, so they're looking for round A kind of investment, and they want you, since you are based in France, to support them by connecting them to a relevant partner. So I will just filter in France. And let me just mention here that, as I mentioned, some VCs, they have offices in more than one country. So you might see a location Belgium and France, etc. So I'm going to click all the one which have France in their location. I think that's it. So all in all, if I'm in France, I have 22 investment organization, VCs, CVCs, family offices, etc., which specifically mentioned they want to invest in Israel. And let's say as I mentioned, I'll leave not only the corporate VCs, but I'll also leave the VCs, and I'll just mention I want autonomous solutions. So I'll go to focus areas, and then just filter the word autonomous. Here we are. So we have two different options. The one is Alliance Ventures, which is owned by Renault, which is a French automotive manufacturer. And as we can see here, with the list of focus areas, they do list autonomous vehicles as the second one. So definitely they might be a target for the Israeli company. However, as I can see, our friend from Airbus is still here. And apparently, Airbus, which is an aviation, or it's not in automotive, they're also interested in autonomous systems and AI. And if you remember, we just saw that Airbus already invested in Israel in a company that does ADSA, which is a driver assistance services, a solution, sorry. So definitely, maybe the Israeli company are not aware that Airbus might be a relevant investor. This is another indication that maybe we can engage with Airbus and not only with Renault in order to understand if there's a connection. So that's the first a kind of case study. Let's do another one. Let's say I am based in Thailand for that example, and I'm contacting a corporate VC in order to explore suggesting meetings for them in MWC, which I'm working on. And to prepare myself for the conversation, I want to understand what other corporate VCs of other telcos are doing and what they're investing in Israel. Because if I see that across the board everyone is interested in the same thing, and I know that there are companies in the Israeli pavilion which are supporting the same solution, this is an indication that maybe during the conversation with the corporate VC I'm going to have, I'm going to suggest having meetings with these specific companies in order to build some interest and appetite to arrange meetings in the MWC. So in order to do that, as I mentioned, we want to filter in only investors who are corporate VCs. And we have a lot of them. I think I have 126, as you can see, quite a big list, but they need telcos. So on the focus area, I can write, for example, a mobile. Let's see who's dealing with mobile. And we have, as you can see, 22 who are doing mobile. And then I can just start to scroll down. So for example, I see Orange Ventures, Orange is a mobile operator which is working worldwide but based in France. And we can see the focus areas of Orange Ventures, and I can see more information. But let's go and scroll down also the ones who had a investment in Israel in the past, let's say, 2 years, 24, 23. We've got a few, Qualcomm, Salesforce, etc. So for example, I can see like Singtel Innovate. Okay, Singtel is a Singaporean mobile operator. They invested in Israel in 2024, and they have quite a big list of investments in Israel. So let's open up their page on SNC Finder, and we can get more information and insights about their investment in Israel. Here we are. And we can see, for example, that they had two investments in 2024. One is in unified identity protection, which is more cyber related, and one is in IoT. I can do the same for other mobile operators. I'm not going to do it because I want to save some time. And if I see that across the board, everyone or most of them are investing in IoT, then that gives us an indication during the conversation I'm going to have with the corporate VC that I'll take it to the IoT, because I'm sure that if mobile operators around the world are dealing with IoT, this is a great opportunity for us to explore if the mobile operator in our respective geography also is interested in IoT. In most cases, this is the case. So that's about it. Again, the list is going to be updated all the time, but we have a target list of over 500 investors that you can start engage with. I would suggest to touch base with them, maybe gather more information, and explore if really we can build a relationship and connect them to Israeli companies. Thank you very much.